what's up guys? So for today we're moving on to 5.6, which is dealing with similar right triangles. We're dealing with similar triangles. So remember, similar means the same shape but not the same size, and we can use that to find different sides by using two different measurements on triangles. So let's jump into it. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is I want you to remember similar figures have proportional corresponding sides. So what that means is the matching sides on both triangles are going to be proportional to each other. So we can end up setting up a proportion, meaning two fractions next to each other, to cross multiply and solve for a missing side. So for instance, if we look here on this triangle, LM, so this side right here, LM, is going to be corresponding to XY. So we can set them on a proportion. So if I was to end up dividing it, the next corresponding proportional side is going to be MN and YZ. So MN and YZ. So if I were to put these two fractions next to each other and I would divide them out, that decimal or whatever number that comes out to be would be equal to each other. So it makes them proportional. Okay, let me get one more color. And then lastly, LN and XZ are going to be proportional to each other as well. So that means they're similar. So we can end up using these fractions or these ratios to create a equal proportion to cross multiply and solve for problems. So let's take this, something that we've looked at kind of before, and we're gonna apply it to our examples to see how it works. All right, so on example number 1, it says it wants us to find the value of X. So let's go ahead and try and look at the proportional sides. I know these two triangles are going to be similar, so I need to try and figure out which sides are going to be corresponding to each other, okay? So right now, if we look, this side right here, and if I was to turn this triangle over, this side right here would end up being corresponding to each other. So I can end up writing a ratio with those two. So I'm going to do X over 7, and then I'm going to set that equal to, and I'm going to get a different color here. It looks like this bottom piece, again, if I would rotate this shape over, this bottom piece right here would match up, okay? But the way I need to do this, I need to make sure X and 8 are on the same triangle. So I have to make sure I put 8 on top, and then 7 and 14 are on the same triangle, so 14 goes on bottom, okay? So now I can cross multiply and I can solve for X. So when I cross multiply here, 14 times X would be 14X. 7 times 8 is going to be 56. Divide by 14 on both sides. X is going to end up giving you 4. All right, look at example 2 here. So it says find the value of X here. So we're trying to find the value of X here. So what I'm going to do here to make this a little bit easier is to split this up into two different triangles to try and see it a little bit easier. Okay, so here we go. So let me get my black here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the smaller triangle here. So my smaller triangle, this is going to be 15 and this is going to be X. And then I'm going to draw my bigger triangle here. So this side right here is 21. And now look, this bottom piece, this whole thing is going to be X plus 9. So that whole thing right there, I would end up adding those together. So now these are my similar triangles here. So now I'm going to end up putting those together, okay? So right now, 15 and 21 are corresponding to each other. So I'm going to put them into a ratio, okay? And then X and X plus 9 are going to be similar, are going to be corresponding to each other. Now X and 15 go together, so I'm going to put X on top, and then X plus 9 goes on bottom, okay? So now when I cross multiply, I'm going to end up moving this stuff out of the way real quick so we can kind of work down here. So now when I end up cross multiplying here, I should get 21X is equal to, and then I have to do 15 times X plus 9. So I have to end up distributing that 15 there, okay? So I should get 21X equals 15X plus, and then 15 times 9 is going to give me 135, okay? Now all I got to do is solve for X. So subtract 15 on both sides. Cancel, I'm left with 135 over here. 21 minus 15 is going to give you 6. And then I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides. So 135 divided by 6 is going to end up giving you 22.5. All right, next thing we're going to look at example number 3. So it says the shadows of a flagpole and a tree is shown below. What is the length of the tree shadow? So technically speaking, we have two different right triangles just like we did over there. So I'm actually going to end up drawing both of these and seeing how both of them work here. So it looks like, when this happens. Eighteen and 6 and 15 question mark. All right, look at example number 3. So it says the shadows of a flagpole and a tree is shown below. What is the length of the tree shadow? So we're actually trying to find the tree shadow here. So it's a pretty tall flagpole and a pretty short tree here, okay? But basically what's gonna happen here is we're using similar figures here. So we have two different right triangles, and I'm gonna end up solving this by using similarity here. Okay, so right now, if we look, I'm going to draw my two triangles just so you can see it. So this is the triangle for the flagpole. So this is 18, and this whole side is going to be 15 plus x, not 15x, sorry. It's going to be 15 plus x. And then my smaller triangle, which is going to be the one for the tree, is going to be x on the bottom and then 6 up top. So now I'm just going to set up my proportion and end up solving it there. So 18 and 6 go together. And then 15 plus x goes on top with 18. And then I'll put x on bottom, okay? So now I'm just gonna cross multiply and end up solving for this. So I'm gonna go and erase this. I'm gonna move this up. And then I'm gonna solve for it. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to cross multiply. So I should get 18x equals, so 6 times 15 is going to give you 90 plus 6x. I'm going to subtract 6x on both sides. Cancel, it should give you 12x. Then I'm going to divide by 12 on both sides. So x is going to be equal to 90 divided by 12 as a decimal is going to give you 7.5, and this is going to be 7.5. It could be feet. I bet you that's what it's measured in. So your answer here should be 7.5, but we're using the proportion and the corresponding sides to end up solving for this. All right, lastly on example number 4, it says a townhouse casts a shadow of 12 feet. A nearby bicycle rack stands 5 feet tall and casts a 3-foot shadow. How tall is the townhouse? Okay, so we're just using the similarity here. So 5 feet and h are the height. So I'm going to put 5 over h. And then 3 feet and 12 feet are the size of the shadow. So 3 goes with 5 and 12 goes on bottom. Okay? So I can cross multiply and solve here. So I'm going to get 3h is equal to, it should be 60. I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. So h is going to end up giving you 20 feet. So that means the height of the building is going to be 20 feet. So ladies and gentlemen, this is how you use similarity in right triangles to solve for a missing piece or the missing piece of the puzzle in similarity, okay? Good luck with your skill check.